Tonight, perhaps the house is finally quiet. The television has been turned off. The dishes have been put away. The lights are softer now. And outside your window, the world seems to have settled into rest. And yet, even in the stillness, your mind continues moving. Thoughts drift in, one after another. Concerns about health, worries about adult children, questions about finances, memories of conversations you wish had gone differently, dreams that never unfolded the way you hoped, fears about growing older, fears that life feels heavier than it once did. Perhaps you have noticed that nighttime can become the place where hidden worries begin to speak the loudest. During the day, there are responsibilities, routine, and distractions. But at night, when everything becomes quiet, the heart finally has room to reveal what it has been carrying. And maybe no one really knows what your nights feel like. No one sees the restless thoughts. No one hears the silent prayers whispered into the darkness. No one notices the weariness behind your brave smile. But Jesus does. He sees every burden you have carried. He understands every anxious thought. He knows the sighs you never explained to anyone else. And tonight, before sleep comes, Jesus wants you to know that He understands every restless thought that keeps your heart awake. Perhaps for a long time, you have felt as though you were expected to keep going, to remain strong, to continue carrying what others could not carry for themselves. And maybe you have done that for many years. You have shown up when others needed you. You have offered comfort while quietly needing comfort yourself. You have listened, encouraged, supported, and kept moving forward, even when your own heart felt tired. Tonight, imagine Jesus sitting beside your bed, not distant, not unreachable, not waiting for you to have perfect faith or perfect words, simply near, present in the peaceful darkness, aware of every breath, every sigh, every unspoken concern. He notices the nights when sleep feels far away. He understands waiting for medical results. He understands missing someone whose voice once filled your home. He understands the loneliness that sometimes follows retirement. When familiar routines change and life feels different than it used to, He understands what it feels like to wonder whether anyone truly sees how hard you have tried. He understands carrying responsibilities for family while quietly setting aside your own needs. He understands being the strong one, the dependable one, the person others lean upon. And perhaps that is why His presence feels so gentle tonight. Because Jesus has carried sorrow, He has known weariness, He has experienced anguish. There is nothing in your heart that surprises Him, nothing you must hide, nothing you must explain. You are already fully known, fully seen, fully loved, and perhaps the deepest pains are not the ones we speak about during the day, but the ones we carry quietly into the night. For many people, the wounds that ache the most are the ones that remain invisible. They are hidden beneath polite conversations, familiar routine, and the quiet determination to keep moving forward. Perhaps there are disappointments you rarely mention anymore, relationships that changed in ways you never expected, adult children who seem farther away than they once were, words spoken in frustration that you wish you could take back, words you longed to hear but never received. Maybe there are opportunities that passed by, dreams that unfolded differently than you imagined, moments when you questioned yourself and wondered if you had somehow failed. And after carrying these thoughts for so many years, emotional exhaustion can settle gently into the heart, becoming so familiar that it almost feels normal. Perhaps you have become accustomed to saying, "I'm doing fine," even when something inside you feels tired. Perhaps you learn to stay busy because slowing down allows old hurts to rise to the surface. But tonight, there is no need to pretend, no need to protect anyone from your sadness, no need to convince yourself that you should be stronger than you feel. Jesus sees every hidden wound, and He comes with no criticism, no disappointment, only compassion. Imagine Him sitting beside you now, placing His hand softly over those places inside you that still feel tender. The places touched by regret, by loneliness, by unanswered questions, by grief, by longing, and in His presence, perhaps your heart can begin to believe that healing does not begin with striving, Healing begins with being gently held, but tonight, Jesus does not ask you to carry these wounds alone any longer. For so long, anxiety may have felt like a constant companion, always whispering reminders about what could go wrong, always urging you to think a little longer, plan a little harder, worry a little more, as if carrying every concern might somehow protect the people you love, as if staying alert could prevent loss, disappointment, or uncertainty from finding its way into your life. But tonight, Jesus invites you into something different. Not more effort, not more striving, only rest. Imagine yourself holding a collection of burdens in your hands, concerns about your health, bills waiting to be paid, questions about family members you cannot control, loneliness that appears when the house becomes quiet, the uncertainty that sometimes comes with aging, the fear of what tomorrow may bring. Each worry has weight. Each concern has rested upon your shoulders for longer than you realize, and perhaps your heart has grown weary from trying to carry what was never meant to be carried alone. Now imagine Jesus extending his hands toward you, strong enough to hold every burden, gentle enough to receive them with compassion. Only be one. You begin placing your worries into his care, the things you cannot change, the things you cannot fix tonight, the questions without answers, the fears without certainty, and as each burden leaves your hands, it feels as though heavy stones are being lifted from tired shoulders. Your breathing slows, the tightness in your chest softens, your thoughts become quieter, little by little. The heart begins to remember what peace feels like, because you do not have to carry tomorrow tonight. You do not have to hold everything together by yourself. As your burdens become lighter, God's promises begin to speak more loudly than your fears, and perhaps, for the first time in many days, or even many years, you can begin to feel what it is like to simply let someone else carry the weight. Imagine Jesus walking beside you along a quiet path beneath the gentle stillness of the night. You have been carrying a heavy suitcase for a very long time. At first, you barely noticed its weight. You carried it because you loved. You carried it because people depended on you. You carried it because being responsible became part of who you are. But over time, it grew heavier. Inside are worries about your health, concerns about finances, memories of loved ones you miss, questions about children and grandchildren, regrets you revisit when the house becomes silent, and fears about a future you cannot yet see. Jesus looks at you with tenderness, not with disappointment, not with impatience, only with understanding. Then gently, he reaches for the suitcase, not because you have failed, not because you are weak, but because you were never meant to carry everything alone. He is strong enough, faithful enough, present enough. You do not need every answer tonight. You do not need to solve tomorrow before you sleep. You do not need to keep rehearsing every possible outcome. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to trust. You are allowed to place each burden, only be one, into hands that have never once lost hold of those they love. And as your hands finally become empty, perhaps you notice something unexpected. They are no longer clenched with worry. They are open to receive comfort, open to receive peace, open to receive the promises. God has quietly been speaking over your life all along, and when our hands are finally empty, they become ready to receive the promises God has spoken over us. And perhaps those promises are exactly what your heart has been longing to hear tonight. Because anxiety has a way of convincing us that we have been forgotten, it whispers that we are alone in our struggles, that our best years are behind us, that the unanswered prayers mean God has grown distant, but none of those fears tell the truth. The truth is that God has never stopped watching over you. Not during the joyful seasons, not during the difficult years, not during the moments when you felt strong, and certainly not during the nights when you have felt weary and uncertain. He has not forgotten your name. He has not overlooked your tears. He has not lost sight of the hopes you still carry within your heart. You are not behind schedule. You are not less valuable because your hair has turned gray or your pace has become slower. Your worth has never been measured by productivity. It has always been rooted in love, and that love has never changed. Even now, in this season of life, your story is still unfolding. There are still moments of grace, waiting to surprise you. Still quiet blessings waiting to arrive. Still reasons to hope. Still reasons to trust. You are loved. You are held. You are safe. You are not abandoned. Even when life feels confusing, even when plans change, even when prayers seem unanswered, Jesus remains near, steady, faithful, compassionate, watching over you with the same tenderness he has always had. And perhaps some of the places he longs to touch most gently tonight are not found in the future at all, but within memories that have been resting quietly inside your heart for many years. Memories have a way of staying with us. Some bring warmth and gratitude. Others carry an ache that never completely disappears. Perhaps there are moments you still revisit in quiet hours. A parent whose absence still feels surprising, even after many years. A spouse whose laughter once filled the house and whose silence still feels unfamiliar. Friendships that slowly faded. Dreams that remained unfinished. Choices you wish had been different. Words you wish you had spoken. Or words you wish had never been spoken at all. And sometimes, without meaning to, we carry these memories as though they are evidence that we failed, as though regret should remain with us forever. But Jesus does not enter these memories to accuse. He comes with gentleness, with mercy, with understanding. Imagine him standing beside you within those tender places, not asking you to relive the pain alone, not asking you to explain your sorrow, simply being there, present, steady, compassionate. He looks upon the younger version of yourself who was trying the best they could. He sees the tears that no one else noticed. He understands the fears that shape certain decisions. He recognizes the loneliness hidden beneath moments of strength. And where regret once lived, he offers mercy. Where disappointment once lingered, he offers kindness. Where sorrow settled deeply into the heart, he brings a quiet sense of peace. The memories do not disappear, but they begin to feel different, less heavy, less lonely, more held. Because Jesus has a beautiful way of transforming places of pain into places touched by grace. And as peace begins filling your heart, it can also begin flowing gently throughout your home tonight. Perhaps, as you rest here tonight, your home feels especially quiet. The sounds of the day have faded. The conversations are finished. The doors are closed, and the gentle stillness of evening has settled into every corner. Maybe there is a soft lamp glowing nearby. Maybe moonlight rests against the window. Maybe there are familiar photographs on a shelf, holding memories of birthdays, holidays, laughter, and people you love dearly. And tonight, imagine God's peace moving slowly through your home, like a gentle warmth, like a quiet blessing, flowing into the bedroom where you lay your head, into the hallway that has carried your footsteps through many seasons of life, into the kitchen where meals were shared, stories were told, and ordinary moments became precious memories, into the living room where joys were celebrated and tears were sometimes hidden. His presence rests over family photographs, over empty chairs, over cherished memories, over the names you still carry within your prayers. He watches over your children, your grandchildren, friends who may be struggling in ways you cannot see, neighbors who also long for comfort, loved ones who live nearby, loved ones who live far away. And even though you cannot protect everyone from every hardship, you can entrust them to the one who never sleeps, the one who watches over their coming and going, the one who remains faithful through every season. Tonight, your home is not defined by worry. It is surrounded by peace, held within grace, covered by God's loving presence. And as the quiet deepens around you, perhaps your heart can begin to settle into a gentle sense of safety, because the day is nearly finished now. And Jesus invites you to rest in the tender quiet of his love. And perhaps this is the moment when you no longer need to keep thinking, no longer need to keep planning, no longer need to keep searching for answers that do not have to be found tonight. The day has asked enough from you. You have done what you could do. You have loved as best as you knew how. You have carried responsibilities, shown kindness, endured disappointments, and continued forward through seasons that were not always easy. And now, dear friend, you are allowed to rest. You do not have to solve tomorrow tonight. You do not have to prepare for every possibility. You do not have to hold tightly to worries that only leave your heart feeling tired. For this moment, you can simply breathe. A slow breath in, a gentle breath out. Feel your shoulders becoming softer. Feel the tension in your body slowly melting away. Notice how your heartbeat becomes steadier, how your thoughts begin to drift more quietly. Imagine Jesus sitting nearby, calm, patient, watching over you with deep affection. He remains awake so that you do not have to. He keeps watch over your loved ones. He guards your home. He carries the concerns you released into his hands. Nothing has been forgotten. Nothing has been neglected. Everything entrusted to him is held securely within his care. And perhaps, as your eyes grow heavier, you can allow yourself to stop striving, stop rehearsing old conversations, stop imagining difficult tomorrows, stop carrying burdens that were never meant to stay upon your shoulders. Tonight, you are safe, you are loved, you are held, and peace does not have to be earned. It can simply be received, and before sleep gently carries you into the night. Let us whisper one final prayer together. Dear Jesus, thank you for being near tonight. Thank you for meeting me in this quiet place, where the day has finally ended, and my heart no longer needs to pretend that it is stronger than it feels. Thank you for seeing every anxious thought, for understanding every restless night, for hearing the prayers I whispered when no one else knew what I was carrying. Thank you for staying beside me through seasons of joy and seasons of sorrow, through years of change, through moments of uncertainty, through losses I never expected, through burdens I thought I had to carry alone. Tonight, I place my worries into your hands, my concerns about health, my fears about tomorrow, my regrets, my loneliness, my unanswered questions, my hopes for the people I love. Hold my family close. Watch over my children. Bless my grandchildren. Protect my friends. Comfort those who are hurting. Bring peace into every home that longs for rest tonight. Jesus, I trust you. Jesus, I release this day. Jesus, hold my heart tonight. Thank you for healing wounds that no one else can see. Thank you for calming thoughts that have been racing for far too long. Thank you for reminding me that I do not have to carry every responsibility by myself. You are faithful, you are present, you are kind, and you have never left me alone. So tonight, I choose peace. I choose surrender. I choose to rest beneath the shelter of your love. As sleep gently comes, let my heart remain quiet in your presence. Let my mind become still. Let my spirit feel safe. And let tomorrow unfold in your caring hands. In peace, I lie down. In peace, I close my eyes. In peace, I rest. Amen. Sleep now. Dear friend, Jesus is watching over you. Your home is held in his care, and your heart can finally rest tonight.